In honor of Veterans Day, Fox Business is going to explore what serving in the armed forces may be able to teach you about running a business. Joining us now from Atlanta is Army veteran and ShelfGenie co-founder and CEO Allan Young, and from Chicago is former naval officer and CEO of Spring Green Lawn Care, Tom Hofer. Tom, since my father served in the Navy, I'm going to begin with you. No offense to Allan. We'll go by C first. Tell us what lessons you learned in the military and how you use them in business and how it has helped you be successful in business.
Well, I was a Navy pilot for 5 years during the Vietnam era, and I flew a plane with a crew of 12 people. So at a really young age, I learned a lot about things like leadership and teamwork and getting the job done. And that type of experience really translates well into the business world because that tends to be what it's really all about.
Allan, I would imagine that you agree with that it comes down not only to good business sense, but also leadership. What lessons have you learned and put into your business?
Well, certainly the skills the Army teaches you, like discipline, work ethic, initiative, and all those leadership skills that are hard to learn, and you have to learn on the job as a small business owner. The military gives you a lot of those backgrounds. But the real critical skills as a business owner, I think, are problem-solving skills, the ability to think critically, to look at situations and make hard decisions quickly, and also to think strategically, not look in the next day or week, but also look in the next weeks and months and years and think strategically in your business.
Yeah, and Tom, you know, Mr. Ben Franklin talked about early to bed, early to rise, right? And I got to imagine that probably 0500 Reveille probably taught you a lot about getting up early and just putting your nose down and working hard, right?
Absolutely. The military tends to be an action-oriented organization. The people in the military are oriented that way. And in business, there's certainly strategy and planning, but on a day-to-day basis, it's all about getting it done. And we find that our franchise owners with military backgrounds are very good at that.
All right, Allan, now I got to be the bad guy. Let's talk about business, right? I mean, your company, ShelfGenie, directly exposed to the housing market. How are sales right now? Are people spending money in upgrading, or are you getting hit a bit as housing suffers?
We're actually benefiting quite a bit. We've experienced 300% growth in the last year. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that consumers are now looking for low-cost, high-impact investments that they can make in their home. And for a fraction of the price of what you spend on a new cabinets, you can get our solution, a custom glide-out shelving system for your cabinets. It really transforms what you do in your kitchen today and takes it from being an area of frustration to an area that you really enjoy, and it's a huge impact.
So actually it's doing well because it's doing well even with the housing market then.
Absolutely. A couple years ago, if you didn't like your cabinets, you would have completely upgraded your kitchen, done all new cabinets, and when that bill came, you would have pulled out that magical home equity line checkbook, and that's how you would have paid for it. That magic checkbook isn't around today, and people are looking for smaller, affordable ways to make a big impact. And a lot of customers tell us that dollar for dollar, that the ShelfGenie system is the biggest impact and the biggest home improvement project they've ever done.
And Tom, you're basically exposed to housing as well, but a lot of your revenue is coming from franchises for Spring Green. How's your business?
Well, our business, I feel really fortunate this year. I hear a lot of horror stories. Our business is tied to housing somewhat, but not as much as you might think. It's more of a maintenance-oriented business. So whereas we've been seeing 10-12% increases, in this year we're about flat with last year, and I consider us really fortunate to be performing like that in an economy like this.
Tom Hofer, CEO of Spring Green Lawn Care, and Allan Young, CEO of ShelfGenie. Gentlemen, both, thank you so much for coming on, and thank you for your service to our nation. We do appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.